Good evening, everybody. It's finally Halloween. It will be a great night for all of us indeed.
I've got a very big story to tell. It will probably be scary. Really, really scary.
I totally remember the entirety of the story, Steve. Anybody else in for this tale?
Pretty much most of us remember this story. We usually hear this once every year.
Fun fact, these events took place way before I was even born. So was everyone else, probably.
I am so prepared for this one. I have never heard this story before. I think it will be a good story. Dating back way before my birth, to be exact.
So, who will be narrating this story? Is it going to be Zach Man who's going to narrate?
You are all correct, Kayleen, Mario, and Sam. The story dates back a long time ago, and I will be narrating the story. Oh, and just one more thing. Since this is a 20th Century Fox intro bloopers video, and being in the factor that Halloween is here, we will use the 1935 logo for this evening with its accompanying short fanfare. Let's begin. Our story begins a seriously long time ago, in the 1960s. ZR Land was a significantly popular agricultural town with lots of crops from the farms in the mountains. The settlements within the town itself used to be quite very smaller than the homes we have today. Inside the beige-colored house between the brown and white ones consists of myself and my newly wedded wife, Sudrian. It had been a week since our wedding and I had just become President of the United States of Awesomeness. I was very surprised to hear from one of my neighbors, Eisenhower Trollface, that a brand new nuclear power plant was to be built within the mountains just east of our town, near the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, soaring a height of 90 kilometers, about 10 times higher than Nepal's Mount Everest. The plant is assumed to generate metals found underground to urbanize the city by 100 tons. While I was pleased to see the construction, I also feel concerned. Before I continue, let's cue the logo to begin the blooper side of the special. "20th century hot dog? Come on, really? I don't even eat hot dogs anymore. Only cold cats."
I am surrounded in a room full of food critics.
Next scene, please.
Anyway, the nuclear power plant that was to be built was to replace this very mystic jungle filled with extremely rare species, such as double-tailed squirrels and blue-headed bird airplane hybrids. Other species include the birdseed blasters, purple bumblebees, rainbow wolves, green chipmunks, tuna ocelots, and talking money. If the species are killed as the deforestation happens, that's no good. I wanted to make sure these rare species are evacuated somewhere special before the deforestation begins. I am thinking of putting these creatures in a museum at the rural town of Pay Me Money Now. Also, there was this strange-looking creature hidden somewhere in the heart of the jungle.
First century Fox? Really? Now that was way before any of us were even born at all. The first year after the death of... Yeah, You probably know who he is around his lifetime before Christ.
So yeah, the mysterious creature was found dead, wrapped in many large brown paper bags. At first I thought the creature was just somebody's abandoned shopping bag full of fresh groceries. But then, as I went closer and closer, and closer and closer, I was in for a seriously gigantic surprise that may or may not haunt me for the rest of the month of October in the year of 1960.
I've for a long time never seen the logo flipped since our triple length feature.
Okay, I'm going to take off my costume for the rest of the story. From this point until then, expect normal Zach Man. By the way, my first discovery of the creature has to be the most disgusting sight I had ever laid my eyeballs on. Okay, let's continue. Throughout my time in ZR Land, I managed to become insanely strong after I spent a week at the gym without stopping to rest prior to moving in with my new wife. I was able to run swiftly with the brown bag one-handed. I had tied it up to prevent the creature from falling out. I ran straight home and went to my underground lab on the second basement floor. After I arrived at my lab, I unwrapped the creature and pushed him into my life giver. It was designed to give life to the deceased people. It may be the last time I will ever use this machine until I decided afterwards to get rid of it and sell it to my parents, Zach Man and Zach Woman Awesomeness 1, who lived across the country, somewhere in Connecticut. Don't know the exact location, actually. Zach Man and Zach Woman Awesomeness 1 lived together till the age of 100 in 2000 when they died. Most of my friends that I had met, including my wife, had sympathy for my parents' demise.
Welp, I'm a bit confused. Did the life giver revive that creature?
It did not revive the creature. The life giver had stopped working because of its old age. I had this machine since I first built it in my engineering class back in 1945, after the end of World War II. Because of this, I had to put him in a time capsule and stuff it in the freezer. It had been a long time after that until one day in October 2009, the refrigerator began to shake and move. It waddled up to the kitchen while we were asleep in our bedroom, which was the neighboring room from the kitchen and dining area. We never had children at the time, so our bedroom was temporarily located near the kitchen. When we were to have our first kid, we would move our bedroom upstairs. I would be able to look out from the center window of the second floor. When we woke up the next morning, I saw the fridge. I was very confused to how it got in the kitchen in the first place. My wife opened the fridge to see the time capsule. She asked me to take it outside and see what could be inside. So I did. I found out that it was the creature I met all these years ago, and he had transformed into an ice cube. I took a hairdryer and melted the ice with it. It took an hour before the ice finally melted. The bag had decayed due to all these years frozen in the time capsule. The creature began to move.
Well, it's a good thing Steve went for a quick walk at this point, because if he saw the logo with salad on it, he would barf rainbows.
How do computers even barf rainbows anyway?
I don't know.
After observing the creature for a while, me and my wife decided to take it to the medical center to get 3 surgeries. One for a new stick figure body, one for face correction, and one for immortality. These surgeries took a week to complete. After the surgeries were completed, the name of the creature turned out to be none other than Frankensteve. Sudrian and I decided to drop the first part out of the name and just call him Steve. Since then, Steve has become very loyal to me. He is my best son ever. And so, that concludes the story of Frankensteve.
That was a really great story, Dad. I was actually meant to tell the whole story, but I guess there was no need. However, you missed one part. I was the creature all along. I was meant to be going to an orphanage at Santiago Springs, but I fell off the bus when we passed the freeway exit that led to ZR Land. I rolled over so many mountains until I passed out onto a very mysterious forest filled with rare species.
You had a very interesting adventure of your own, Steve. I am impressed.
Now that the story is over, it's time for one last take. Let's do this. Cue the logo one more time.
We did it. We finally got the logo right while listening to a very scary tale.
I listened to the whole thing. That was the best Halloween story I have ever heard in my entire life. I will tell the story to everyone back at Mario's studio when we meet up together for a new installment of WBPIB.
Oh yeah, and if anyone is wondering where Ray Slimpix is, he is at his house celebrating Halloween. He's got a life of his own outside the studio, you know.
That includes Officer Fiddlesticks. He's also at home celebrating Halloween. He could also be celebrating the day of his revival. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed my story. We at the studio will see you next time for more TCFIB. Santiago.
Damn! What?